Hi, Rowan Arnstein here again with another tuba demo. This time we're looking at a 1912 Elkhart Sousaphone. Now, as I understand it, Elkhart's factory burned down in 1902 and they moved to another location, but they no longer made bigger brass instruments. They jobbed that out to Conn. Now, if you look at this valve body and the general assembly of the horn, it looks exactly like, I believe, an 1897 model Conn Sousaphone, which is actually one of the best instruments I've ever played, and certainly the finest sousaphone I've ever played. On my YouTube channel, you'll find numerous Singapore Slingers, which is a 18-piece foxtrot orchestra at the time when I played with that, using this instrument, and this instrument appears a lot. And the reason for that is sousaphone's a perfect foxtrot instrument. It doesn't have to play loud, it doesn't have to be obnoxious, but you want a presence to the bass that you don't really get with an upright tuba. And the other thing is that I really get kind of tired of people telling me, oh, the sousaphone can't play musically, and you watch marching bands and they're taught to blat or play as loud as possible. Loud has those LM10 mouthpieces, extremely shallow, and they'll make any tuba. I put one in a Conn J36, which is one of the biggest 6'4" fatso tubas, and it was bright and it was kind of stinky. Now, I've used Hellebergs and I've used Bach mouthpieces, and right now for this demo I'm going to be using a Rose mouthpiece, and this is the Rose Orchestra. I think Kurt Rose is one of the most underrated. He was a tuba player of this Houston Symphony. I think he's the most underrated tuba player there probably ever was. And he certainly knew his instruments, and he certainly knew mouthpieces, and many students were thankful for the time they got to spend with him. I never did meet Mr. Rose. So, here we go, 1880s, oh well, excuse me, I'm still thinking of the last instrument. So this is 1912 according to serial numbers and my best guess. Elkhart SNE Conn Sousaphone. So 3-valve instrument, plays very well. The valves are worn, but with any old tuba or any old brass instrument with valves of any kind, you can get ultra pure synthetic oils, and you can go past Hetman's classic or piston or rotary or Yamaha vintage and use ultra pure like key oils or even linkage oils in the valves. And I have used those in my leakier horns, and they will get me through a 3-hour demonstration or a 3-hour gig, and you will have decent compression. Here we go. I'm going to do something everybody hates, I think. Well, maybe not. And you're going to hear it popped. Anyway, so that looks terrible. Anyway, you can get decent compression out of these instruments by using the right valve oil. Now this is, like I said, this is a 100-year-old horn, and you heard it. That's pretty good if you keep the oils valid oil. Now it used to be years ago when I would get a tuba, the valve oils available at the time didn't provide, they weren't thick enough. They wouldn't really seal up valves that were old or leaky. But now the newer synthetics, they stay on the instrument longer, they stay liquid longer. You don't have the valves banging up and buttering up as often. Now this horn was used recently, or as to say a couple of years ago, at a Christmas concert. Try to put a link to it. And I played it with the Wylie Community Band, and forgot really how good of an instrument it is and how much I enjoyed playing it. Problem is I got too many tubas, and I'm not a collector. It's time for other people to have these horns. I'm sure there's a lot of people that would love to have this instrument. It's perfect for la banda or whatever. As you'll notice that my pads have been painted dyed black. And that was so when I'm wearing a tuxedo playing a foxtrot job, that it wouldn't stand out on my tuxedo. But I also have a white set of pads too. And the other thing that I did was I got to where I started putting a gel bicycle seat right under my tux jacket or under my shirt. And that took all the strain, all the digging in of the tuba's top bow off of my shoulders, spread out the weight completely. It never became a concern after that. Solved all that issue. And as you can see, I've made an effort to try to make the instrument as comfortable as possible to play. You have to do a 3-hour job. It's a lot of playing, and that's a lot of time with an instrument on your shoulder. It's not a halftime performance. Anyway, having said that, why don't we hear the instrument, let it speak for itself, or as well as I can make it speak for itself. The instrument's a very personal thing. Mouthpiece choices are a very personal thing. And I always encourage people to find the best mouthpiece for the best response for the instrument, depending on what kind of music that you're going to play. For example, I have a Conn 2, which is that very shallow funnel cup, and when I use that in my York, I can play very quietly in a little 3-piece group for wallpaper music, and I can use something big like this, and I can really honk out the songs. So, how about some simple stuff like a scale? The instrument's response is easy. It's easy for me to play it. I haven't played this horn in months, if not over a year. I've been taking it to rehearsal. I've been playing different instruments, all of which I've sold so far. And this one's going to be kind of hard to let go of. But if I'm not using it, somebody else should. There's no reason for it to sit here in this house and rot. Okay, so how about low notes? So as you can see, you can play the pedal notes very, very well. And after a little warming up and a little practicing with it, maybe playing a few rehearsals with it, oh, I can play low notes on this as well as anybody with any 5 or 6 valve horn. I don't know why it is, but maybe it's because of the giant conical opening shape of the sousaphone, but it certainly plays the little low notes very, very well. And I suppose you could booger around with the neck and maybe turn the bell so that you had it playing up if you really wanted it upright. Well, that's not how I used it. This was a polka band horn, and this was a outside horn, and it was also the foxtrot horn. And if you look at all the famous tuba players like Tardo, or maybe Red Cloud. Red Cloud's a famous tuba player. He's a Native American, and he played sousaphone. Of course, he played one with the bell turned straight up, but he was one of the great tuba players of the 1920s. So speaking of which, let's hear a song from the 1920s on the Conn/Elkhart. Didn't improvise a solo so great, but you get the idea. It's a nice sounding horn. Just plays really well. So now let's play some serious tuba studies on it, since you can't do that with a sousaphone. Or at least all the, I get the impression. Articulation problems. It's not like I've sat down, I didn't warm up before I played this. I played the Elkhart demo before I did this one. But considering what we have here, don't underestimate a sousaphone. I think you can put it in any situation. So how about something a little more vowels, a little more, up, and we'll leave it at that. Maybe I shouldn't sell this thing. Thank you for watching. Take care. Have a good day. I appreciate your time.